Well, hello, Coffee Time friends. How y'all doing? It's Southern Sunday lunch. We're having one of the southernest, Sundayest lunches you've ever seen today. Well, we might be missing a few ingredients. It's a big Southern Sunday lunch. But we're having chicken and dumplings. Mama's chicken and dumplings. We made chicken last week. We had chicken broth left. And, I told y'all that there was a rumor that we could get into some chicken and dumplings since we had chicken left. We're not doing mashed potatoes, though, believe it or not, because the dumplings are pure starch. And the stuffing is pure starch. What's the difference between stuffing and dressing? Whether you put it in the bread or not. This is not stuffing. This is cornbread dressing. So we're going to get started with that in just a second. And Mama's going to whip up some dumplings. But I'm going to get stuff ready for the dressing first, because it's got to cook a few minutes. So get your cup of coffee.
It's I'm going to get my apron.
Pull you up the chair at our table. Mama's going to get an apron on. I'm going to get started on this celery. Let's come right down here to this cutting board. So I've washed this celery, and I'm just going to trim off these ends. That one's fine. I've done trimmed off the other ends. Actually, I just broke them off and left them in the bag. So for this celery, this is the heart of the celery, folks. A lot of folks don't use these greens. These are perfect for dressing. This is what you want to reach for. In November, I'm going to be making dressing in a few days. Start saving this and say, I'll use that in my dressing because it's wonderful in the dressing. And I'm just going to chop this up. Just like this. Greens and those leaves have flavor, tons of flavor. In fact, I think the leaves have as much flavor as the stalk, maybe more. I use this when I'm making my chicken salad, or if I'm making, if I'm putting celery in, even in like tuna salad or something. If I ever do a little different, I don't normally put it in there, but sometimes anything I'm using, I'll use it in soup for sure.
I'll put celery in there.
Yeah. So you just use those leaves just like it's a part of the celery stalk. Just like you bought it that way. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Here we go. This is wonderfulness, wonderful, wonderfulness. All righty. This is going to be plenty. We're not making a huge batch. If I'm making it for Thanksgiving, I usually use a whole stalk of celery. Or two, Mama said. But if it's just me and Mama, we still make enough for a whole stalk because we want plenty of it. Today we want plenty, but we don't want to eat on it for a week. Mama will eat it for lunch for a couple of days with some good gravy. Mama can make a meal out of just celery. No, not just celery. Just dressing and gravy. So that is my celery all prepared, ready to go. And I'm going to put that in my bowl. In goes the celery. Now to this celery, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to add onion, and I'm going to add some chicken broth. And I'm going to put my dry ingredients, which today happens to be sage, just dried sage, and salt and pepper. All that is going in here. This is just a yellow onion. I'm just going to clean it up here. Get the paper off. We call it paper. I don't know. What do y'all call that thin?
It's the skin.
Thin stuff here that sounds like paper, looks like paper.
Onion skin.
Onion paper.
Skin.
Mama calls it skin. I call it onion paper because it acts like paper. It blows all over the place. It clings to everything it touches. I've always called it onion paper. Mama says I'm crazy. Which that don't surprise me. Mama, look at the garbage bowl.
No.
This is a handful of onion.
Here, I'll take it and put it in the garbage.
All right, Mama. I'll let you have it. So I'm just going to slice this onion up, and then I'm going to chop it up, and then into the bowl it goes. This is the simplest way I know to get an onion ready for anything. I just kind of stack it back up, pretty much in order, not hardly, and give it a whack down the middle, and then I start cutting. And to me, this is the way I've always done it. Now, I know some of y'all are going to be jealous. Oh, insanely jealous some of y'all. It's like, wow, your cutting up skills and your knife skills, John, are just unbelievable. I hear that. I hear that all the time.
Ooh.
You're just I just can't believe you cut that onion that way, and I'm so flattered. I can't believe you cook and you don't cut it the other way. And you're just like, I take it that you're saying I'm unique and I do it differently. And you're impressed with my skills. Is that what you mean? When you're saying, oh my gosh, look at his knife skills. Thank you. You'll embarrass me with flattery. But that's just the way it is. I get it done. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Are you impressed? Some of you are just trembling with excitement. Some of you have already commented 3 times about how I'm cutting this up. Thank you. We appreciate it. Okay. Back to reality. Okay, so let's get this over here. I know. They always make it look so graceful. They cut it all up and swoosh it off. It's so pretty. Oh well, whatever. I do want to say some of our most wonderful friends, the creators that do cooking shows, they had a wonderful event in Alabama at Mama Sue, and Miss Annie hosted. And Mama and I couldn't be there. We were invited. Someone said, why didn't you invite? Oh, they invited us, and they are so gracious, and we're such friends with all those folks. I love them. Would love nothing more to went down and spend the weekend. Looked like they had a great time, and I'm sure they did. Because I'm telling you, I talked with some of those people. I talked with Mama Sue. Mama Sue is really salt and light. I mean, what she shows you all is just a glimpse really into her real life. That is Mama Sue. The woman is wonderful. We love Mama Sue. If I have an issue come up with something that I know she's already dealt with, I get her on the phone. I said, Mama Sue, I need some help. She's always so gracious to help and wonderful. And likewise, if she needs something, which is rarely ever because the woman's got it together, we all collaborate. Miss Kimmy, we're all great friends, and there's no competition. Mama Sue says it all the time. Every time she says it, I say, amen. But we did not go because, don't let her hear us talking about her, but Miss Maggie. Maggie's not young. Maggie is probably, we figure her to be 16. She even could be 17. I don't know. I don't like to dwell on it too much. She does fine here at home, but she don't travel. I used to take her for Sunday rides every Sunday. She enjoyed them. 7 years ago, it was her highlight of her day, of her week. But we would take her to the park. I would take her places. We took her, the last 3 times we took her anywhere, she whined and cried and didn't like it, nothing about it. The very last time I took her, and I told Mama, I said, I'll never do it again unless it's to the vet. And our vet is literally a quarter of a mile from here. So it's not far at all. But the last time we took her on a Sunday ride, we went about 3 miles. And she literally got up on the console, put her head under my arm, laid her head over, and she was trembling. And it broke my heart. And I said, I'll never do it again. Never. And so we don't take her anywhere. She'll go out and lay in the yard now, but that's not all she wants to do. So taking her with us to Alabama was not an option. We do have a wonderful family that comes by here and watches her when we're at church. They come by and watch her when Mama can't be here. But Maggie sometimes she'll get up 2 or 3 times. Mama, come over here. I can't get us both in.
Oh,
sometimes she'll get a couple times in the night. Now, Mama says I'm like a new mama with a baby. I know when she wakes up.
Yeah.
She don't bark. She don't give any alarm. She just has a little trot she does. When I hear the first little, I automatically wake up. I go to bed alarmed, ready to wake up when I hear Maggie. And sometimes she'll come into my room, but she sleeps just outside my door. So as soon as her little toes hits that hardwood floor, I'm awake and I'm ready to go get her. I don't think someone else would even pay any attention to that if they were asleep. So to get someone to come and watch her overnight is not a really good option either. If it was an emergency, we'd have to do something, and they would be glad to come and do it. Our family would. But we chose just not to go. It wasn't out of, we didn't want to be with those fine folks as we'd love to have been. They're all wonderful people. And we don't know what next year will bring, but if they do it again, if something's not going on, we'll make every effort to be there. But they're such wonderful people. They truly are. And I'm just humbled to be counted amongst them because I feel like we're the least of the crowd because they're so wonderful. They're such wonderful people. And they put up with me and Mama, and we're just so thankful. So some of y'all had questions, said, why weren't y'all there? Just near life problems, real problems, you know. When you have a fur baby, you people who have them know. And we wouldn't do anything. I would really be afraid, and I'm not trying to sound over, you know, like, you know, I'm not trying to be dramatic. But if I put her in a kennel,
she wouldn't do good.
I don't think she would make it. I just don't think she would.
She wouldn't do good.
She just wouldn't make it. I don't think she'd eat. I don't think she would drink. And I don't know if her little body could take that kind of stress. It would worry me, wouldn't it, your mama? We'd be tore up all the way, all the time. But anyhow, it was a wonderful time. I've seen pictures, and I'm highly jealous. We're just jealous that we didn't get to be there. But it would have been wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Now here, Patience is starting in Dumplings without us.
Well,
Patience.
I took up that flour to get me some more in my canister, and there's about 2 cups of flour in here.
All right, go right ahead, Mama. I'm going to be here. What I've got in here is 1 medium yellow onion and 3 stalks of heart of celery. And I'm going to put in some butter. Mama, how much butter are you going to let me have?
I thought it was
3 tablespoons at least. And I'm going to slip in a little bit of black pepper. This is just a shake of black pepper for flavor. And a shake of salt. Just to get those onions started on their journey into dressinghood. And then I'm going to put in quite a little drop of sage. Now, this is dried sage. And you don't have to have as much dried as you do fresh if you have fresh sage. We've never used fresh sage a lot. So I'm going to call that a tablespoon. I'm going to call it 2 good tablespoons. Now there's sage people and there's non-sage people. You do you because that's what your family likes. So that's about 2 good tablespoons of sage. This is chicken broth from the cooked chicken. And that's about a pint. That's about a pint. And I'm pouring all that in there. All that goodness going in my bowl. And this is poultry season. Now it's got sage in it, but it's also got some other wonderful flavors. In fact, we use more poultry season than we do sage in our dressing. So I'm going to put a good 2 tablespoons of that in there too. And a little bit more. All right. Now, if you want to just do poultry sage. Ooh, John. We got a couple at our church, and I mix their names up all the time, and I combine them, and I tell them that's their Hollywood name because what is it I call them?
Ginger Will.
No, I call them Wingel or something when I get them together. It's just I do that.
It's a man and wife.
It's a man and wife, but I combine their names, Wingel or something. I don't know what I do because I don't do it on purpose. So I'm just going to stir this up and get that dried sage in there. You know, sage in poultry season is just like cocoa. It repels water, repels liquid, so you have to stir it down in there. Go ahead, Mama. I'm going to stir this up and get it incorporated.
Yeah, I've got about, 2.5 tablespoons of butter and 2 cups of flour, and all I'm going to do is work it in. And I'm not a measurer, I just dump and use most of the time.
Dump and use, Mama. Mm-hmm. Mama measures with her heart, as they say.
All I'm doing is mixing this butter in here. And I use butter Crisco a lot of times, but this was just handy. And you can see it getting crumbly looking, you can see where that butter's mixing in with it. Here's your sarmanthin.
Now I just put this over this microwave safe bowl and it will cook in there. Makes this wonderful broth. Now it's not pretty at this stage. It looks like green mud, but it's that sage and that poultry seasoning. Like I said, you may not, I've seen someone make it the other day and they was saying they just use it like a teaspoon because people don't like it. We like the sage, but there's people that like more than we do. I have a friend who calls it green dressing because hers is green with sage.
I don't want it green, but I like it. Taste. I'm gonna get me some buttermilk. Oh, and it's back there in the bag.
You want me to put this chicken in this broth that's boiling?
You want your chicken left separate?
Do you want it left separate?
Yeah, like you put it. I don't know how you're gonna heat it. Just go ahead and put it in.
I do whatever you say, Mama.
You can just put it in.
You want this broth put in here?
Yeah, we'll have to have it because it's not going to be in there. Took me a minute to get my buttermilk out. I'm going to move him down because he's took up a lot of space on him.
Let me bring him over here right quick and I'll bring him back to you. Alright folks, I'm going to bring you over here right quick. And I'm going to show you what's over here. So this is just an enamel, what do you call these pots, Mama? Cast iron pot.
What is it? That's not
It's a Dutch oven.
Dutch oven, that's what it is.
You know, the leg goes out like that. Beautiful orange profile. But this has just got chicken broth in it from the chicken. We keep it, now this is a Duke's mayonnaise jar, and we clean it, wash it, and we put our chicken broth in it. Put it in the freezer. Here's the chicken we have cooked. And I put a little broth in the chicken because I'm going to heat it in the microwave. And then I'm putting the rest of this broth in here. You want good broth. Then I'm going to put some butter in here. These are breast. I prefer to start out with a whole chicken because you don't even have to add the butter because you've got that beautiful chicken fat. But today, this is it. So it's going to be butter and black pepper.
I've got some chicken based over from Lee.
Okay. Butter, black pepper, and salt. Where's the chicken base? Right here?
Yeah, it's in the, I believe, dark behind.
So I'll go ahead and put some chicken base in there because we didn't cook a whole chicken.
Didn't get all the.
And I'll put about 2 good tablespoons in there.
That's.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that says.
Is that enough?
Yeah, low sodium.
This is low sodium. Normally, if you use chicken base, you don't use any salt, but I put a sprinkle because we've been using the low sodium. This is Custom Culinary Gold Label Chicken Base, low sodium. So that's like a bouillon cube. If you have a bouillon cube, you can use it. But if you just use a big old fat frying hen, just salt and pepper, bacon hen. Salt and pepper should be the only thing you need. Just going to let this come back up to a boil. The reason I'm doing this now is because the part Mama's doing, this needs to be ready to go. And I'm going to put a little water, filtered water, in this chicken broth box a little bit, and I'm gonna give it a shake, and I'm gonna add it right in here. Just like that. Now, I would put my chicken in here and go ahead and let it get hot.
We can do that.
No, Mama, you don't like it. Mama don't like chicken and dumplings. She likes dumplings. Chicken is just extra to Mama.
Yeah. You like to eat the chicken by itself.
So we'll do it separate. But this smells wonderful. I can tell by how rich it looks. It's going to be wonderful. So I'm going to put this lid on here. Not going to let it seal. I'm going to let it vent. And we're ready for the pot to boil. We're not going to watch it because, they say it never will boil. That's not true. I've watched them and they do boil eventually. They do eventually come up to a boil. Let's get y'all back in your chair. I know y'all like it. They're the best. Alright. Now she's handed me a little saucepan. Are we doing gravy?
Doing the green beans.
Oh, yes ma'am. So this is just 7 of 19. July 19.
They're good, Jeff.
They're good. That's the reason you can. Because they last all those years.
Right here in my dumplings, I poured excuse me,
Well, Mama.
a little buttermilk. You need that other one.
I need that other thing to get
Right here.
underneath it. Because this don't cut. It unseals. But it don't unseal your home canned stuff. You gotta have something like this church key to do it. See, that's the... And see, Mama's goes all the way up. They're not floating in water. That's when you see her canning and she's doing this. She's packing them down, get all that extra space out of them. Now these will get a little bacon grease.
A little bit of salt.
Little salt. And she puts nothing in them. We don't put a little salt for canning. We don't put nothing. Those are just green beans and clean water. Little salt, and then it'll get bacon grease. I want to run the camera here for Mama because she's going to be moving around here.
I've got too much buttermilk in here.
I'm going to tell y'all a little secret here, and I'm not throwing shade, as they say, on nobody. You're going to have people through your life that's going to tell you things like, it takes years to learn how to make chicken and dumplings. Or, nobody can make them like somebody made them. Folks, give yourself credit. You can make them. It's a process. Once you learn, get in there and try them. You may need to try 1 or 2 or 3 batches at home. That's fine. But I can make dumplings because my mama taught me. You can make dumplings. It's just like rolling out biscuits or anything else. You want your dumplings to be a little stiffer. A little more flour, a little more kneading, a little more working, a little tougher. But you can make dumplings, can't they, Mama?
Oh, if you can make biscuits, you can make dumplings.
Anybody can learn. It doesn't take that long. But some things like chicken and dumplings and pinto beans, you can't never make them like you can. You can.
What you do is you make them and learn to eat what you make.
And then you make them again.
Mm-hmm.
And you make them again and again. For long, you're the dumpling maker of the family. What's going on over here?
It's boiling too much. I need a spatula to get all that dough out of there.
Yep, it's boiling. It's a boiling, Mama. I'm going to go put the bacon grease in this before I forget. You need me to get you a spatula?
I just raked it out pretty good with this fork.
I'm putting about a good heaping teaspoon of in this amount.
And all I'm going to do is just work this.
got about another minute on our, what have I got in here, Mama? Butter and sage and celery and onions. And
the onions and celery is what's cooking.
And see how Mama is kneading this out, working it. You don't want to do that to biscuits because it makes them tough. Your grandmama, your mama might have told you, you keep working that dough, you're going to have dumplings instead of biscuits. Well, that's what she was meaning. You don't want to overwork your biscuit dough because it makes it tough. But with dumplings, you want it to be tough. You want it to be firm.
I like fluffy dumplings, and you like slick dumplings, as you call it.
That's a true story. But you want your dough to be malleable, to you can pick it up and there are no holes will come in it.
Oh, you've quit.
It's quit, Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Was you worried it was never going to stop?
Mm-hmm. It was sure loud.
Mama don't like that roaring, but she sure does make the noise, don't she?
That he doesn't understand that I'm short and I'm under that. He's tall and his head and yours
I hear it roaring, Mama.
is above it.
I hear it roaring.
I used to get a dough roller and just be faster, but I've just been.
You know me, Mama. I don't like any noise.
Yeah. But I think that's going to, running out of bar here. I need a case knife and I don't want to get in the drawer.
Let me get you one. Everybody out there is going, what on earth is a case knife? Why, it's a butter knife, anywhere but the South.
Well, I do a pizza roller sometimes.
Pizza roller.
I'm in a hurry.
But we use a case knife.
It's a
Case knife is a universal tool.
It will cut through this.
Case
You
knife
can
is,
use a case knife. You don't want to damage your board, your mat. And that is it. That's all I'm going to do.
case knife is,
And Johnny, we need to get the dressing on before we do these dumplings.
are you trying to say, get over here?
Yeah, because we've got to bake the dressing. And I've got a muffin tin. We're going to make it in a muffin tin today so it'll be quicker.
Quick and easy.
Just put it in a pan.
Here is our onions and our celery and our sage and our poultry seasoning and our broth and all those things goodies. Right there. They're right here. So let's get started. Now, we couldn't do all this with you all today. There's just not enough time. Especially when you're trying to do a whole meal like dressing. So this morning early, Mama made a split batch of cornbread and biscuit bread. Now what on earth are you talking about? I'm talking about this right here. Looks like the world. This is biscuit bread, this is cornbread, made in the same black iron skillet. It's all one loaf, and you can do this. And if your family likes both, biscuit bread and cornbread, you just get your skillet good and hot in the oven, make your biscuit bread up, make your cornbread up, and just hold your containers up and pour them in at the same time. Or my mama made this a little thicker this morning. She put this in, then made her cornbread and poured it in. Pour it in the same black iron skillet. You can bake both of them in one big pound, a split loaf. A split pound. I'm going to cut it and show y'all. So when you cut it, you'll see what we got here. You see the biscuit bread turns into cornbread. One loaf. Now, your grandmama, your mama, your auntie, somebody in your life may have told you that you need to stand and crumble this up by hand. You need to stand there and take this piece of cornbread like this and do this. And you make you a big bowl of that, and then you add it in here, and you spend a good 30 minutes doing that. That's what they may have told you. And then here I come along and I tell you, you don't have to do that. I'm telling you that it's bread going in hot liquid. And it will definitely crumble up. So, I'm not saying nobody's wrong here. I'm just saying this is the way I've done it. This is the way we've done it in the restaurant. We didn't have time. We threw whole cornbread muffins in here. Because that's just the way, the time we had. This will come out delicious, and it definitely will mash up. You ever try to put a cookie in a cup of coffee and it disintegrates before you can get it to your mouth? Same thing here.
Am I gonna need to get a can of soup?
I want some soup in it just for the richness. My mama wouldn't believe me either. Mama said, "No, we're gonna crumble that up." I said, "Mama, take my word for it." So I let her do her batch, and I did the other half batch my way, and that was exactly the same. And she said, "Well, I guess you don't have to stand and crumble it so long." I said, "No, ma'am. That's the way they did it. But look here, you got smooth, delicious dressing, and I put that whole half a pound of cornbread and biscuit bread in there." Some people only use cornbread. We find we like it if it's a half and a half. Some people only use the center and don't use the crust. I don't see no sense in that, but I mean, we eat it. It's all good. It's all bread and it's all delicious. Now you can see the color of this, and it was that muddy green, but now it's starting to come out looking more like dressing. And to be honest with you, it's about the right consistency. I'm going to put this soup in here. And then I'm going to see if it don't need just a little bit more biscuit bread in here. That's the reason we didn't want to make 2 pounds, and we only used half and half, because we knew we wouldn't need near that much. Now, Thanksgiving, we'll use about 2 pounds of cornbread, 2 pounds of biscuit bread, because that's a big old batch. But this, and you can see here, I'll bring y'all up here closer. Some of y'all thinking, he's playing games with that camera. No, see there? Look at that beautiful dressing. You see me mix that up. Now, Thanksgiving is not the only time for dressing. Southern Sunday is the perfect time for dressing. Anytime you want chicken and dumplings, you want a little dressing to go with it, it's the perfect time for that too. But that's it right there. Pure goodness, ain't it, Mama? And you can make it up in a flash. It don't take that long. Now look at Mama's dumplings. Already cut out over here, ready to go. Now, these dumplings, you can pick them up. Let me pick this one up. I want to show you. Mama likes them thicker. So that's what this is. It's a little bit thicker. You can see the density of it. You see how it's holding together, it's holding its shape. That means, see how I can do that? That means she worked it good. She got it good and firmed up. But yet it's cushiony, but yet it's going to hold its shape in that boiling pot over there. Now we're going to make her wait on us. We're not going to let her get too far ahead, because I want you to see her put these in there and how they change, and you don't stir them. You don't want to stir them.
I'm going to get your chicken. I warmed it so good.
Okay, we're going to pour it right in here. I'm going to turn this back over here so you can see. This is just cream of chicken that Mama heated up. It's just a can. That's all it is. You didn't put the water in it. She just left the can of chicken. You want to get most of the lumps out of it at this point. Now, if I put this in when it was all hot and liquidy, it'd been fine.
Yeah, I didn't think that would be fine.
This just gives it a richness. Just gives it a richness. You know, it's in the South, you put cream of something in everything we cook.
You're going to have more bread now.
A little bit more, Mama, I believe. So I'm going to start out over here with some more biscuit bread, or pone bread. See here, there that is. I'm going to get a little bit more of this side for starters. Now, I'm not going to stick the whole thing in here now because there's not enough liquid. I'm going to see what I need. So when you have that big old piping hot container of liquid, it'll absorb some cornbread now. With Thanksgiving, I can put a whole pone in that. And it gets just like this, just this quick.
Rinse this bowl out if you need more liquid in it.
I don't think we do.
No,
I'm going to need you to sample. Now, when you first start making this, it's not going to come together first try because you're going to have to add. See what amount you need. That's the reason ours looked so dark and all that. We knew how much we normally put in there. Even though we don't measure, we have a clue of how much we're going to use. So we already knew that. So you may not know that when you first start. You'll think, I've got way too much. It's trial and error. Keep up with it as you're adding. So if you add a teaspoon of sage and you add another and another, make sure you know what you're adding. Okay. Let's put a little bit more cornbread. Remember, this is just a half a pound of cornbread and a half a pound of biscuit pound bread just to start with. So we've not used much at all, really, comparatively. So we still have this much left. And I'm just going to, what they call, fold it in. I mean, roll it, bring it back to the top. That's what we're doing. Now, Mama, I'm going to say, I'm going to yield to your decision, but I'm going to say it's at the perfect consistency right now because it's just holding together. I can swoop down the middle and it holds. You see that? That's how, if you've never made it before, let me fold this wrist in. I'm going to show you. So if you've never made it before, what you're looking for by the time you get ready to dip it up or put it in your pan or whatever you're going to do, is you want to take your spatula and just come right down the middle. Does it hold? Now it's oozing back together, but you want that. But is there still a crevice? Yeah, there is, and it holds it. See, that's the consistency you want. You don't want it liquidy, but you don't want it dry for sure. Nobody wants dry dressing. Well, maybe two of you's out there. I don't know.
Two.
Mama, you give it a whirl.
You give it a whirl too. We don't put raw eggs in ours.
There's nothing in here that will hurt you. Oh.
That's good.
Drop the spoon. Drop that spoon. It's perfect. It's perfect. Mama's recipe.
I put it with avocado oil.
Avocado oil is in there. And this is just the... Now, if you want to be in a hurry, you got to make this on Sunday and you ain't got time to let it bake an hour. It's kind of like when we do meatloaf and we fry it in the pan and skillet on top of the stove. This is going to be done. Hopefully, y'all get to see it. Hopefully, in 20 minutes. That's the reason we're hurrying. Hopefully, in 20 minutes, this will be ready to eat. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just because you all are here today. I'm going to do two little thin ones over here on the end so we can at least sample with y'all and you can see what we're eating. So if they all don't get done, that'll be fine. I'm going to make these three right here little flat ones. So we'll at least have something to eat today with y'all. Because I think the last time we made this, we had to show them a picture afterwards, didn't we?
Yeah.
So those three down there are for today. You wouldn't have to do that if you're making it hot. They're beautiful. Now, what on earth are you and Mama going to do with all that dressing? And what on earth are you going to do with all this dressing? You've got a mess, John. I'm going to put this dressing in a Tupperware safe freezer container. One night, I'm going to come home from work, and my mama's going to make the announcement. I've got a turkey breast, and I'm going to use that dressing in there that we made that Sunday. She's going to have it out. It's going to be thawed, ready to go. We're going to be eating in about 30 minutes because we've got the dressing already done. You can freeze it. It freezes beautifully. You don't have to worry about a taste, do you, Mama? We love it. There's two ways you can freeze this. You can go ahead and put it in your pans and freeze it up, like in your silicone pans or whatever you want to use. Or you can put it in a container, and this is what we do. Now, Mama has put it in pie pans before and froze it in the pie pan because she likes it thin. And just seal that up good and drop that pie pan in a freezer-proof bag and pull the pie pan out, throw it in the oven, let it defrost, and eat it. Save those old pie pans. You can use it this way. But you can just put this in a container and let it thaw and then dip it out in your cornbread and your muffin tin, or you can put it in a pan. We've got an 8x8. We use it a lot of times for weeknights. And this will be enough to fill an 8x8. So we're going to freeze this. So today, we got 2 in 1. 2 meals in one. Probably more like 5 meals because we'll eat the leftovers tomorrow. We'll have this one night. We'll eat the leftovers the next night. Maybe the next day for lunch. It stretches. It's good. So I'm going to let y'all see here. And you've seen how I've done that cornbread and all that in there. But you see how smooth that is? There's no lumps, no bump. Look at that. And folks, I didn't use near as much as you may think I did because look, I've got this much left. I've got a piece of a biscuit bread and a piece of a cornbread left in one pan. We could, if we wanted to, warm that up and have it for lunch today, but we don't need bread. Not when you're eating bread is the main course, which that's what this is. Dumplings is bread. So, good times, great dumplings. And there they are. Now, Mama, you ready to boil some dumplings?
Yeah, I turned it back up. I turned it down.
So, you want me to get the bench scraper?
I'll just set it over here and take it to
Let's go over there.
bring the mat over here is what I'm trying
Let's go over
to
there.
say.
She's going to be up there. Sorry for the movement. I hate to move y'all. I really do. But sometimes there's just so much action going on and stuff we showed you as much. I want to be... Let's get it, Mama. I want to be over here where you can see.
Wow. Let's see. Go back burners on.
All right. So here we have our dumplings that Mama just cut out. And you got that wonderful broth. Can y'all see in that pot? Now see, you just drop them in gentle-like and let them start cooking. Now you don't stir them anymore. You can move them, but you do not stir them. See how it's not rolling, but it's a good hard simmer? Now Mama's watching that, and when that stops simmering, she'll stop adding dumplings. Because then her broth is getting too cool with these cold dumplings going in. That's what you're looking for. Have I still got a place, and is it simmering? Watch them cook. Can y'all see? Mama, can you see in there? Are they seeing?
Yeah.
Are they seeing?
I think they can.
I've got it on. Now she's not stirring. She's moving. There's a difference. Ain't there, Mama?
Yeah. You gotta make your hole.
You make a little hole, but you don't want to get the spoon in there and just give it a good whirl. Even though you may want to. See how fluffy these are? Now, had you wanted to make slickums, as they call them, or harder dumplings, you would just worked your dough longer and rolled it out thinner, and you would definitely have had to use a rolling pin. But Mama didn't even use a rolling pin today. Mama's nieces have married boys that would walk through fire for Mama's dumplings. And every time are you making dumplings? They love them, don't they, Mama?
Yeah, they eat them.
If they see this video, you may have company to them.
Well, that's all right.
Which nothing would tickle Mama more than somebody come and eat food.
We'll have enough to feed them.
Can y'all see now? I'm hoping you can. I'm hoping you can.
Oh, I can't see my glasses.
You fogging?
Yeah.
Now, see how it's still simmering? So she's still adding. Some people say, don't crowd that pot. Don't do this.
I make them.
We crowd when we fry chicken or we make dumplings because you can't, you can't batch them. But you notice she's not stirring.
I think they're multiplying on me over
They
there.
will. Now you don't need
No,
this.
This the pad, I said, I put in here and put in here, and I said, there's still.
This mat is 16 inches long, and it was full, and it's about probably 12 inches, 12 to 16 here. So it was full, but you don't need much more than that. You don't have to make enough for to fill the whole stovetop here. Mama, that smell. That takes me back to every Christmas since I was a child.
There you go.
And that's the mat. This is an old Tupperware mat. They don't have these now. They may have them back someday. Mama, I'm liking getting to take stuff out of your hands right in front of you while you're trying to cook.
You do.
It's changing the roles.
Oh, wow.
Ain't that what you say?
Yeah. Get my dumplings down in the broth now.
Mama, don't forget to talk to them.
Oh, I have already forgot.
They think you're stuck up, some of them.
Let me wash this off my
They
face.
think you're too good to talk to them, Mama.
Oh, now don't be like that.
No, you don't want to talk to us sometimes.
Yeah. I get dizzy and don't.
Sometimes you don't want to give us something to eat. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, I like for people to eat that.
Sometimes you don't want me to use an onion. You said, and you don't need both them onions. Makes me feel like you don't want me to have it,
I
Mom.
need to sink, honey.
And it makes me feel like I'm in your way. Now they're really boiling now. And I'm going to turn them down just a notch because I don't want them to pull apart. And I'm not stirring them. Don't say he was stirring them because I'm not. I'm just keeping them under that broth. See there? And then also keeps them separated. I know y'all can't see much for the steam. Now what's happening is, you see this hand over here? Look here.
Put my towel back.
What's happening is, the flour that was on these dumplings and the flour that they're made out of is getting into that broth. And it's automatically thickening it. Look at that. You don't have to thicken it. It's thickening all on its own. See that? Look at that. Just moving them around to keep them moist on top. And we can put the lid on them for a minute. Just let them do their thing. Let them have their magic there. I'm going to put this up here. And I'm going to do about 3 minutes on that. Let's check on them. Now we're just going to let them cook for a while. I'm going to tilt that to steam escapes. As I was putting that chicken in there, I just thought of something. Do you all poke your time in on your microwaves? Or you take that 30 seconds and just hit it as long as you need to hit it? I'm a 30-second person. Even though it's a lot more work, I don't know why I do that. And I'll think, why do you do that? And I even say to myself, Sal, from now on, just put your time in. If you need 5 minutes, it's easier to hit a 5. Why? Why? Why do we do that? Don't ask me, because I sure don't know. Mama, do you know what? Mama does it too.
No, pass, I guess.
Mama does it too. Mama does it worse than me, I believe. Mama, are you mad at us?
Oh, no.
You're being quiet.
I'm just concentrating, seeing what I need. You know me. I'm just getting ready to eat.
If there's a bunch over here in the kitchen, you'll see Mama. She'll clam up. And I'll say to her, and it embarrasses her a little bit, but we laugh about it. And they all know her. It's family. It's here. And I said, Mama, are you mad at us? And she'll say, oh, don't start. You know I'm a cooking. I ain't got time to fool with your foolishness now. I'm trying to cook. Get a meal on the table. Okay. You all got any questions? We're wrapping it up. The cornbread dressing has been in there for about 5 minutes. It's starting to bubble around the edges, which is a good sign it's cooking. Going to get brown. Because we can, John. Laugh out loud. Who says that? What was we talking about? I can smell all that good food. Mary, can't you though? Can't, if you can smell it, it'd take you back. It takes you back. My favorite memories of Thanksgiving and Christmas here. Now, my mama is, I aggravate her once because she sleeps late. Now, she sleeps later now than she ever has. But to her, late 7:30, 7 o'clock. She ain't laying in the bed till 1. But she's got up at 5 o'clock my whole life. And my favorite memories as a child is waking up smelling onions, celery, butter on Christmas morning, smelling it on Thanksgiving, smelling that sage, smelling that turkey in the oven. Because Mama would have it done. She'd get up at 3:30 and put the turkey on. She'd be in here cooking at 5 o'clock in the morning. So by the time I'd wake up at 6:30 or 7 as a kid, and the whole house was the smell of this wonderful sagey, oniony, wonderful Thanksgiving smell. And I just loved it. I just loved it. And I knew what it meant, and I knew that we were fixing to have something good, and family would be over, and there'd be kids for me to play with. And it just made memories. Made memories. Mama, now, let's talk about this. It's not Thanksgiving, folks. I know it's just October 1. But Mama said Daddy used to have turkey. They used to have ham and pork chops for Thanksgiving.
We killed hogs on Thanksgiving, and we had hog meat.
They killed hogs on Thanksgiving. And we did. We did. Mama would make Thanksgiving dinner. Here's my memories. Mama, you'll have to correct me if my memories are wrong. When I was a kid, under 10, I remember us having Thanksgiving. Once I get about 10, I don't remember us having Thanksgiving that often here. We would have it the day before, the day after, the weekend before, because we were in the cornfields picking corn on Thanksgiving because that was Dad's day off, and he'd say, we need to get that corn in, and we picked it by hand. And we would kill hogs on Thanksgiving. It was a day of work, usually on Thanksgiving, but we were thankful to be able to do it. And we were thankful for the yield we got from it because our cows could eat, our horses could eat, and we would have eats because we would have killed a hog. And my uncle was well and young then, and we'd go over to his house usually to kill the hogs, and we did it the good old-fashioned way with hot water and scraping and hanging and all that stuff that some of y'all know about. And then they would cut up the meat, process it, and pack it. So it was usually a day of work there for a few years, wasn't it, Mama?
Oh, yeah.
And I did remember as a kid us having more dinners. Is it when I got older, or did we never do it? And it was on Saturday before, and I didn't realize it.
What?
Like I remember Thanksgiving Thursdays when Dad was off, we were in the cornfields.
Yeah, if we didn't have the corn cooking,
but that was farming. That was farming. And that's just what you did. If the sun shines, you had something to be doing. And if it rained, you had something else to be doing somewhere else in the dry. But Dad always kept cows. We had cows. I didn't know what it was like for people not to have cows. And I still miss, thinking about things taking you back, love to hear the cows picking in the pasture, and you could hear them. It wasn't just watching them; you could hear them pulling that grass when in the spring when it's good and tender. And I love sitting on the front porch listening to the cows.
I was going to make gravy. That's what I'm going to make.
Yeah, we're making gravy, and this is a secret for y'all. I'll tell you it's a secret, just between us. When you make your gravy, I don't care what kind of gravy you're making. You can use beef or pork, but a good secret blend of good flavored gravy, and I'll tell you something else who uses the same blend, is your friend, the Colonel. Use a pork and a chicken, or a beef and a chicken. They mix those gravies. Now, I have a copycat recipe, and I make it from scratch. And I use bouillon cubes. I use a beef, and I use a chicken, or a pork and a chicken. It's those combined flavors. So you think, oh, I'm having chicken and dumplings. I'll need to use chicken gravy. Well, put your pork pack in there, too. It's a delicious, brown, rich gravy. Sometimes chicken gravy lacks a little richness to me. You mix them together, it's absolutely delicious. But you can use this same blend for roast beef, or you can use this same blend for pork or chicken. So the combined brown gravy and chicken gravy is a great hack, and it's delicious. I've made the copycat gravy several times on here, but I'll make it again sometimes for you new folks. Or you might even be able to go back and look in our videos, which you can go to our page, search our videos, and you'll see all the videos we've done.
You found it.
I got it, Mama. I took care of you. And you can have delicious gravies, and they are so good. They are so good. Prayers for healing. Is someone asking for prayers? I remember helping. Great tobacco, Diane. Yeah. If you was in the tobacco, now Mama done the tobacco. I never did.
My dad and brothers helped my uncle, but I never did work.
You never did work in the tobacco fields?
No.
Your first cousin did.
My first cousin, it was her daddy that raised the tobacco shit.
Well, Mama, I figure you was jumping in there helping them.
No.
Well, Mama's family worked in the tobacco, and they done the hanging. There's a lot of work. So I've never dealt with tobacco, but I've heard about it.
They worked hard in it.
It was hard work. But that was a southern crop. I mean, it was a good crop that grew well here, and they could make money on it, or they could sell it, or they could use it, or whatever they need to do. So back in the day, they used everything. What little bit of farming I've done in my life is just working with my dad. I never did have cows and all that on my own. Now, if you're by yourself doing it, it's a full-time job. You're up early, you're up late, you're checking on them during the day, you have to give them medicines. You've got a herd to deal with. You've got to deal with it. I learned as I was growing up, and I learned from my uncle and my daddy on cows and horses and pigs and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, you never know. You may have to go back to that someday. We may need to all know something every once in a while. I learned a lot of gardening from my uncle and my mama. Daddy, not so much. Daddy wasn't a gardener. Now here's how Dad would get almost divorced on a regular seasonal basis. My mama would go out there and work in the garden. Tell him, Mama. Tell on him, Mama.
You can tell it better than me.
No, Mama, I can't.
Yeah.
Somebody would come over, and my daddy would say, "Look at them tomatoes, them cucumbers." Mama might have plants. Look at that cabbage. How pretty it is. We can raise some cabbage around here. He hadn't been there. It was Mama. And he said, well, get your head up and take it with you. Mama don't care to share. She ain't stingy. But, you know, you can only do that so many times till you run thin, because we didn't have big, huge crops. It was just a row, maybe 6 cabbage heads, maybe 2 cucumber plants. And Mama said, I was going to pickle those cucumbers, and you give them all. Well, I just give them to this one and that one and this one. And then he would come home sometimes and say, I need a bag. I need you to pick a bag of cucumbers and squash. I told so-and-so I'd bring them some.
Yeah, he did that a lot.
And Mama, what's up? Now, I don't care to share, but we've got to get ours too. I don't have enough
We
can.
will, he'd say. But
And what, Mama? You normally did we?
Yeah, we normally do.
Mama, you're hard to follow.
Well, don't follow me around. You didn't get your napkin, Trees.
Well, Mama, the only reason I got me one is I wiped something off my finger,
Oh.
and it was cranberry juice, and I just thought I'll lay it here and use it. Folks, I know it's hard to believe, but we've been on here however long we've been on here.
Oh, a long time.
Long time. Mama said you wasted their whole afternoon. But it's done. The food is done. The dressing, I know those 3 are done. The others are probably done. But with our dressing, you could eat it raw. In fact, my daddy used to say, why do you waste the time and the effort to cook it, and it makes it worse? Just serve it like it is in that bowl. But here we go. Look at these chicken and dumplings. Mama, that's awful heavy for a little old woman.
Oh. Little old woman has to go.
Little old woman has to carry it because her son's over there running his mouth and won't carry it for her. Right?
Yeah. He won't do it, so I have to.
Now, Mama, you better clarify.
Oh, you would carry it out.
And don't I tell you, don't carry nothing. I'll get it.
Yeah, you tell me that all.
And what do you do?
I go ahead and do it.
You want me to get that out of the oven?
No.
It's hot.
I think we can eat these 3 little ones.
You can't outdo Mama. I tell her all the time, Mama, don't be lifting stuff. There's some more balloons. Where's them balloons coming from, y'all? Am I just imagining that? I've got a twitch in my and then balloons are popping up. Where'd that come from? Mama, them balloons is back.
The balloons, and I missed them again.
I think they're back. I don't know. I think I've seen them. Look at this dressing, y'all. I think it's all done, Mama. I really do. And look at that brown gravy she's pouring. Mama, you see you in there?
No, I don't see me.
Where are we at? Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
There's that gravy. And here's this dressing. Look at these dressing. You can use this idea at Thanksgiving. You're just going to need some more pans. But it's an easy way to serve. It's already portioned out. Even them little ones. See, if you just want to do the little flat ones, they ain't bad looking.
No, there should have been. It's all glad it got done together more.
But I made them special just in case we ran out of time. And we're out of time. Mama's going to make me hang up. There's another balloon, Mama. Look, look.
I see the balloons now.
These are new, aren't they? We don't know anything about them. How do y'all get balloons to do?
Hand your plate and I'll put this
Yes,
in.
ma'am. I gotta check out these balloons. Now, we're gonna have some of these delicious dumplings. Mama, I'll go ahead and get you some out because I know. Is the chicken done up there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Mama likes these big old pillowy dumplings. Look how rich and delicious they are. Mama, I'm gonna give you that bacon. You want some chicken?
No.
None?
I'll just eat dumplings and dressing.
I'll just eat mine here on the side.
I think you usually like yours on the side.
I eat on the side because my mama don't like it. I put it in it.
A lot of people do.
A lot of people. Most people like chicken and dumplings. Now, folks, see that beautiful gravy on that dressing? How brown and delicious. That's that pork and chicken blend, and it's really good. But now I want a little bit more of this on my chicken. Just a dash more, Mama, of gravy. And some good old green beans. I'm going to give you about 4 spoons of these.
No, you're not either. That's good. Oh, gosh, what plate?
Mama, you probably shouldn't eat none of this cranberry sauce. I'll just eat it.
It's probably all plates plumb full.
You know it. You don't want none, do you?
I done got me some.
Oh.
I ain't gonna worry about it.
Mama loves cranberry sauce. Just loves it, don't you, Mama?
Yeah, I love it.
Let's raise y'all up so we can see you and you can see Mama.
Got beans on my dumplings.
Oh. Don't call the police.
I may have to.
Mama, you drinking tea?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mama, we should show them.
Oh, can we?
Can y'all keep a secret?
Oh.
Now, this is just between us.
Okay.
I said I wasn't going to say nothing, but I'm going to. That's what they say in the South, when they should keep their mouth shut, but they run their mouth anyway. Did y'all see it? Did you see it? Mom, I can't believe you're showing that.
You told me to. You're the one getting me in trouble.
Y'all sent us some raspberry yesterday.
Y'all ate their stew.
Yesterday. And we've made some.
And guess what I'm
And
drinking?
it's delicious. And Mama's drinking it. And Mama, tell them about it.
It's good.
It's good. It's good. Now, let's talk about
It's
how
not real strong raspberry, but you can taste the raspberry.
it tastes like real raspberry. It's not an artificial flavor.
No, you don't have that plain taste.
It tastes like real raspberry soda. It tastes like you've taken the tea, put your real raspberries in there, and let that flavor immerse into it. It's delicious. It's parallel with the peach, except it's the raspberry. They did an excellent job on this. They worked on this a long time. I think I was supposed to wait until in the morning, but I probably...
Was you? And you had me to get...
Mama, you shouldn't have done it. You can't let people be leading you around. You're going to have to stand firm.
I will stand firm with you the next time.
Since Mama didn't show Jens, I think I'd tell you.
No. You said, yeah, tell them.
No, Mama, you shouldn't listen to me.
If I get in trouble.
Berry raspberry, yeah. Y'all, sweet tea. In the morning, 8 o'clock. You can order it off their website. It won't be on there before. So what you do is you go in there, you log in. 7:30 something. And you refresh. And when you see it pop up, you can order it. And once it pops up, get it ordered. Because there's not going to, I don't think they're going to have it or peach again until Black Friday. But
let's have prayer and you pray for me that I stay out of trouble.
them boys is going to get you, Mama.
Oh, please.
Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Don't tell nobody. Don't be out telling all your friends and neighbors. Just keep it a secret just between us. We're going to bless this meal before I get more trouble. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful meal. We thank you for these precious hands that prepared it, dear Lord. We just ask you to bless it for the nourishment of our bodies. Watch over, lead and guide and direct us, dear Lord. And I've seen prayer requests going up and people saying they're going to pray, dear Lord. Don't know everything, but I know that you do, dear Lord, and that's what's important. As long as you know, we're all okay, dear Lord. And we know you have the answers. We know you have all the questions answered. And we just need to be still and let you. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's try this and then we're going to let y'all go. Now, I know today is a little long.
Long.
I know it's long, but it takes a minute to cook real food if you're doing it live. We don't do any breaks, stops, or pauses. This is just you and us cooking. And you all can fast forward, re-watch if you need to. We understand. Let's try this stuff.
Dumplings, and I got to have my dressing.
Mom, that's the best dumpling I ever tasted.
Oh, wow.
Those are as good as the last time you made them. And I don't care if it is warm outside. It's still good.
Yeah. And it's real good. I forgot to turn my oven off.
I'm going to get me some of that raspberry tea now that I've talked about it. This dressing, did you try it?
Yep. Done tasted of it. It's good. Done tasted of my dumplings.
Did I mess them up in any way?
No, the only thing I ain't tasted of is them green beans. They're wet to last.
The green beans are going to be good because we've made them that way for about 50 years. These are the peanut butter. These are the no peanut butter, peanut green beans y'all seen us picking off in the garage that day. No, these aren't. These are 17, weren't they? But this is what they turn into once you can them. It's these red looking beautiful beans. Mama, those are good too.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I'll be eating leftovers for lunch now.
I don't have to call you and remind you to eat tomorrow, do I?
No. I'll eat tomorrow.
All right, folks. We've kept you on here.
I usually don't eat again on Sunday, but I'll probably eat a little bit again.
No, she won't. She'll talk about it, and then she'll cheat me out of supper. We'll go for a ride or something. She says, well, it's about too late to eat. Now you want to eat?
I'll eat dumplings.
They're delicious, Mama. They really are. Y'all want to buy? Look at that delicious golden dumpling. I'm telling you right now, ain't nothing more southern than chicken and dumplings on Sunday. Unless it might be fried chicken on Sunday.
Yeah, fried chicken's good.
The chicken and dumplings ranks right up there. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah. I think a fried tater ranks right up there myself.
Well, anything good does.
Yeah.
Folks, y'all have a blessed Sunday. Enjoy yourself. Get out and make some memories, because that's what it's all about. Having a good time in life. Enjoy your life. Make some beautiful memories. Say goodbye.
Life and enjoy.
Say goodbye, Mama.
Goodbye, Mama. God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Y'all have a blessed one. Bye.